Let me drop the meeting notes in our chat. Team chat or team meetings. There's the meeting notes. Sorry, everybody who came. Normally, we are much more organized, but we're trying something new today. Alrighty. I guess we can turn on cameras now. Cool.
Cool.
Nice. All right. So from last week, our action items were tell Kappa that we're not gonna go forward with it. I have a meeting scheduled today for that. Making a channel in Discord for news, which has been done. Then reach out to author Telegram plugin. I haven't been able to do that yet. It's been a bit busy of a week at work. Live stream our meeting, which is what this is. We're attempting. Bentley, are we live on YouTube?
Wow.
Heck yeah. So that one's done. Figuring out what YouTube channels we own. I don't know who's responsible. That was Torrance job. Did you get that done?
Not sure. I think the one that the main AutoGPT one is certainly all I'm aware of.
Okay. Benchmark sync with Polyrap Media and Wayne. Did y'all get that good?
Yeah, it's in process.
Cool. Generating the meeting notes for my Weaviate meeting with Puts. I didn't get the meeting notes actually done, but I did get the context which was needed for them, and I provided that to James. And then setting up Supernormal for the team. Tor and I are work in progress on that. Cool. Let's kick it off. Any announcements?
I'm back. Yay.
Welcome back.
So if there's anything I missed in the past week, which is not discussed at this meeting, feel free to DM me with it.
Cool.
Everything.
Again, if you need your AutoGPT email and you don't have it yet, let me know. We'll get it out. This is our recurring weekly announcement. If you don't have access to Notion and you're supposed to because you have an AutoGPT email, let me know. We'll get it worked out. Agenda review or any other announcements?
Yep, one announcement on this end. Me and Michael spoke to Super AGI earlier today. Michael as in Hall AI, and they're holding a hackathon from the 18th to the 20th. And they're also really excited about our benchmarking effort because they were going to build something similar. So they're going to be interfacing with us for benchmarking, and we're going to find a way to get more involved with them for the hackathon, including, finding, get them a partner role in the Amplifiers channel, and, shouting them out, getting their hackathon publicity on Twitter, LinkedIn, wherever else. And in the future, they'll return the same favor.
Awesome.
Yes.
What month is the hackathon?
It's in 2 weeks. It's the 18th to the 20th of August.
Okay, cool. I don't know how to spell August. Hold on a second. UGUST. It's been such a long day. It's only 10 a.m. Let's get going. Any other announcements?
Not so much of an announcement, but more like a mention of something that happened to me. So I was reached out by someone from this publisher called Packet for LinkedIn, and they want to write a book about AutoGPT. Apparently, they have one in progress, which is going to be released sometime next year. And they wanted me to author the second one, most specifically about like applications. I just wanted to bring it up in case of like any ideas or like sentiments there. I'm not also like an author for anything. Like I've never written a book before.
Yeah,
I'm
I
also
think
not the best writer. So yeah.
I think Vlad's writing the book. If I'm correct, it's been a while since I last heard about this. Um, I don't know how that's going. They also reached out to me to be a reviewer. I'm happy to do so, but the terms of reviewing weren't super hot.
Okay.
So I wasn't super in favor of that.
Yeah, they also reached out to me for something regarding an AutoGPT book.
Yeah. So
Right. If there was someone who was most interested and really wanted to do it, I think we could pass it along to that person.
I want to check to make sure that's something we
Yeah.
want to endorse at all before we like do that.
Great.
To be frank. So let me add an action item to unless Torn, you have a off the cuff opinion. Yeah.
No, I think I seem to remember like a long time ago something similar happening. Douglas, I think, was maybe there when this happened.
Yeah, I
Don't know
think
if
it's
it's
the
the
same
same
book.
people. Yeah, right. Well,
Well, I mean,
no,
it
no.
was, I think, at least a month and a half ago when they reached out to me, so that might be the same
Mm.
instance.
Okay. I'm also maybe gonna need help taking meeting notes. Normally I can take them, but my typing is a little worse right now. I'm missing the tip of one of my fingers.
Oh dear.
Oh dear, indeed. But you asked how I was doing. It's been a long week. Um, so I may need help taking meeting notes today. I'll let you know if it gets to that point. Cool. Anybody have any other announcements? All right, let's get right into the agenda review. Nobody made an agenda until the meeting started, so there's nothing in it. So let's spend a minute filling out the agenda with anything you need to talk about. You have until like 20 more seconds. If you got anything else to add,
Where are the meeting notes again? Sorry.
they're in our Notion. That should be linked in our team meetings channel.
I would like to briefly discuss our strategy on divergence and convergence in development of whatever we're developing. Because right now we're kind of diverging with AutoGPT, AutoGPT Forge, AutoGPT Turbo, potentially. Where's it going? What are our priorities? How do they fit together? That's the question for me.
Cool. All right. And let's get that going. For our updates, ops is Luke here. No. All right. Or I'll go ops first. Go ahead.
Sorry, did you say my name or I misheard?
I was seeing if Luke, our main release guy, is here. But I don't think he is.
He is not.
Cool. So we worked on a release, and then as an organization, we made a whole lot of progress in benchmarking and meeting with people. Let's head on to research to hear about some of that.
About the release, first of all, Luke asked me for a second approval, and then I said, "Wait, we're missing some items on the to-do list, so those are still pending, I think." But other than that, I guess it looks good.
Cool. Any other ops updates, Torin? Or I guess yeah, you're mostly at that. All right, cool. Let's head on to research. Wayne and Silent.
Yep. Research wise, things are going well. We're focusing on trying to define exactly what differentiates our paper from the ones out there. As you guys have seen, there's been some recent great benchmarking papers that come out, like Web Arena is an example of one. And we're kind of honing in, and Craig is helping us as well hone in on, what really creates a good benchmark, first of all. And then also really just making sure that our challenges are solid, and solidifying the benchmark in that way. So it's good. But our Thursday calls still happen. Making good progress there. Still on track to submit to ICLR.
Cool. Any other research updates, Wayne? Or you want to take yours under development? Yeah, let's do development. Wayne, kick it off.
Repeat that.
We got 3 things under development for notes. Tell us about them.
All right, so lunar.dev, API key management. Why? Because when people install an open source backend and we ask them to install one API key, which is OpenAI, but potentially others like a Google Serper API key, Wolfram Alpha API key, blah, 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 blah. It's a nightmare for them. Okay? It's very bad. So one might say, but that's what the product would solve. But except they have an open source backend. So they want stuff locally. So there is no way around getting these API keys. However, Lunar is going to give an update in Discord. I'm going to get Roy, the CTO, to talk and explain how they can help. The idea, really summarized shortly, would be instead of having people provide 3 API keys, getting 3 API keys or 4 or 5, they could get one AutoGPT API key. But still having an open source backend. That's very important. And they use this API key to consume all the API keys involved in using any backend or any open source backend that we have. Okay.
Cool. Do we know if it's released? I see a beta link.
Sorry, repeat that.
Do we know if it's released to be able to be used? I see they have a beta link, but not a like use me now.
Yeah, it's a discussion with them.
Cool.
Some of the things that we need to be built anyway from them.
Cool. Tell us about how.
Helicon, we added some features, some costs. It allows us to know that, for example, Bebot is actually pretty expensive. Very interesting to see that the best agents, they become very expensive at the simplest task, whereas the agents that are the less capable are very cheap but less capable. So it's interesting. The agent protocol has been implemented on the benchmark, so now we can see if they pass the agent protocol, they comply with it. That's it.
Nice. A question I had about that was, do we want to move the agent protocol into its own repo? Is that something we can work with E2B? So it's not just E2B is the maintainers, but people like Wayne, you could be a maintainer, or media who's using it, or like various entities could actually be maintainers. Have we discussed that at all?
Okay, so there are discussions right now of an agent foundation.
Okay.
Okay, so then in this context, I'm going to ask Vasek if he would be okay putting that in a separate repo.
Cool.
Or it could be like JavaScript, where the ECMAScript is one implementation of JavaScript, but there could be many that comply with the actual protocol. In that case, you could have a company owning one implementation and other companies owning different.
Cool. And then I see Craig adding Forge agent template setup. Craig, do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So I started yesterday updating the Forge and adding in AG benchmark so we can start doing test-driven development there. I haven't done that much because obviously we need to discuss this, But from my understanding of the overall objectives of it, we want the bare bones basics so people can see how to build their own agents with as few opinions baked in as possible, but with good tooling available for them.
Cool.
Any thoughts there, Wayne?
Yeah,
Because you'd
let's
started
think.
it. Cool.
Let's think after that. I have a ton of ideas. Even Helicon wants to help. Base Run wants to help. A lot of people wants to run. And what's good is they have incentives to do so.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Okay, let's have a chat after this then.
Cool. Documentation. I know our documentation is not doing super hot right now. Have we done any efforts to update that or improve it? Nope. Has anybody
Yeah.
making any changes to documentation in the past week? Cool. Collaboration. I think we have been doing excellent on this front. I just want to congratulate all of you on that. You're doing a really great job working with external partners and making progress. It's amazing to see all the different people we talk to. And a reminder, we do have a CRM, so we're not bothering these people by having 45 of us reach out because of our structure. So make sure if you make a friend, add it to the CRM so we know to go bother you if we want to make a friend. Any new contacts we have this week that we'd like to add or like bring up?
I've spoken to Demetrius Brinkman, who is the founder of the ML Ops community, which is a big, I think it's a Slack server, but it's basically machine learning in the production environment. Huge, huge community, and he's very interested in collaborating with us, maybe like helping out with our community, and yeah, there's going to be exciting things that I'm not allowed to announce yet, but exciting options for even more collaboration in the agent space in the future.
Cool. Anybody else?
Yeah, I just wanted to say regarding collaboration, there's a very easy low-hanging fruit if you want to start something, which is if we think that person delivers value in terms of news and articles and posts, we can allow that person to just post in a channel, the amplifier. That person can just say, "Hey, I've done this. Please share it." Then it can amplify its message. Then we can do the same, and that person would see our messages as well, and potentially share that in their community. It's very low-hanging fruit to start a partnership.
Cool. Yeah. So if you have a partner, add them to the Amplifier channel. That's a great call out. Moving on to visibility. Craig, you want to take it?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, the first thing to discuss is we've got the benchmarking Twitter space this Thursday. I have 3 people confirmed, and I'm working on the final one to confirm for it. We have the format of the event sorted out now, which is going to be a series of 4 questions for the panel to discuss. And after each question, we're going to invite someone from the community to ask a question as well to try and get the engagement up there. These actually events take a fair bit of planning, or at least upfront work. So I'm getting started on the next week one and getting into the flow of having templates, emailing the right people to try and get their panelists all lined up with plenty of time to go. Which is the next week's one is I was thinking would theme it around agent planning, because that's very important for us, especially for getting the performance out of agents. And I've been looking into different content and how to start building up more content around these events so that we're just generating as much visibility as possible. So that's what I've been doing there.
Fantastic. Do you have a plan for the week after that?
I have got a list of plans. I haven't selected which one to do next. Is there one you'd like to suggest?
I was going to suggest memory. We had a really good collaboration with Weaviate on discussing how memory could work. It may be a good opportunity to help do that, and I'm sure they'd probably I'm sure we could find a couple people to help us with that, right, as additional speakers.
Yeah, sounds good.
They seemed incredibly knowledgeable. I can put you in contact with them if you're interested.
Yeah, that would be great. And Poots did a load of work on the memory as well, so maybe that's an opportunity for you to join in if you're really interested in.
Yeah, sure.
Cool, Craig. Oh yeah, we need to turn off our cameras so we can bring Luke on stage. Everybody turn off your cameras.
Yay. Okay, Luke, you should be able to join now.
Cool. Now you can turn your
Yes.
cameras back on.
Oh,
That
That's
was
so
very
weird. I'm gonna see if I can contact Discord. Actually, Bentley, do you know if we can contact Discord and see if that's something we could work on? We have like 50,000 people on this server. Maybe that's enough.
I'm under the impression they'll probably patch this loophole we found, rather than help.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
It's
don't
probably an
mention the
issue of
workaround.
scale.
Don't mention the workaround, but you know. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see.
so
Bentley.
before we move on, could I just ask if anyone is aware of research papers on memory? Could you send them over to me so that I can ask some of the authors to join us as well?
Yep.
You mean any or like specifically relevant papers? Because there are many papers on memory.
Yes,
Like a
relevant.
lot of them have scrolled past in the memory channel and other channels in the server in the past 3 months. But some of them are not really that useful. For example, like papers that rely on progressively retraining a model to achieve infinite memory length, stuff like that.
Interesting. Yes, relevant ones and ones from respectful institutions or people, authors who have like a high profile.
Okay.
Engineers. I'm joking.
Cool. All right, facilities. Or actually, do we have any other visibility updates? I think we're good. Cool. Facilities. Somehow we still don't have an office. I really.
Why do you? Is it
Yeah,
your
what the heck,
facility room
Torin?
and you just keep? Why do
I'm
you
gonna
keep that in
task
the?
her with facilities.
Why
Well,
do you
One
this-
thing on visibility. I think Swifty's been posting these threads on Twitter, and I think I don't. He's posted one today announcing me as a panelist, but I think he'll probably post another one for a fourth speaker, a fourth panelist, or something like that. Or if not, just like a final announcement. And if we can, let's just get everyone here who has a Twitter account, and if you don't make one, just like and retweet that Swifty post. I think you'll put it in the amplifiers channel, or okay, yeah, perfect. So just stay tuned for that, and let's blow the event. Let's blow the space out of the water.
Cool. And I
with
also,
100, you're 100 porn. I just 100, you're 100.
I also
need to
think
do that.
our official Twitter is back up and tweeting things related to this now. So let's also make sure.
I got access to that.
Heck yeah, let's go.
Craig's hacked it.
Craig hacked it. Let's go. Awesome. Yeah, so we still don't have an office. I'm gonna break into WeWork next week, see what we can do there. For our discussions, let's take a look at our release. Luke, do you have an update?
Uh, it's been a slow week, and so I'd say we're 1 week behind where we should be. That's mostly because we had some folks out last week. So we'll be able to push it out today or tomorrow. There's nothing that's come back from the testing group. So I think we're good to go for 047. And if we have time to squeeze in another release, we shall try to do the next one pretty quickly. Yeah,
Cool.
so it's got extra testing because we got an extra week on that.
Awesome. Makes sense. And then our divergent convergent strategy. I think somebody wanted to discuss that.
Yeah, because right now, of course, we have the main AutoGPT repository. I'm not sure how many people are still working on that. I'm currently trying to get that, get a big performance improvement into that with regards to planning, context provision, task management, etc. Including a complete rewrite of how the prompt is constructed, because it just makes development a lot easier. And my question is, how do the different projects we have now relate to each other? Because AutoGPT, AutoGPT Forge, AutoGPT Turbo. Luke, maybe you can tell a little bit about that. I'm happy to work in parallel with other projects, but I think, at least for me, it would be very useful to know what the objective is of each of these projects.
Go ahead, Luke.
Yeah, so part of so Turbo is really just a playground of my own that I thought one of the problems with building, say, some new features is that, if we build them in isolation, you don't get the testing done. So I was trying to package it in such a way that we can get folks to look at it, it'd always be in sync with the current stable release, but it would be things that may or may never make it into the main repo. So the currently 3 things I'm looking at. One of those is the stuff I was doing on Discord around successful prompts or prompts that work. I was trying to package that into something like that I'm calling personas, where a lot of folks want to come to AutoGPT and just use it, not necessarily say train it. And so what this is you have some profiles, something for that's kind of just a bunch of prompts, a bunch of perhaps even tests for coding. Codezilla is one of those that has been up there, and some folks have been interested in that. So I was packaging that, and then perhaps creating a way for people to add, edit, maybe even share. The other thing is it sort of flows out of some of the benchmarking work where we've got a number of different agents that are good, at different things. And the idea of perhaps allowing AutoGPT to use those if it's got a task that it knows, say, mini GPT is better at, I think could help boost the idea that AutoGPT has a control function. It's the entry to a number of other AI agents. And so those are 2 ideas I'm playing around with. The rest are some performance things around how we can, beat those benchmarks, beat some of the other bots out there. And overall, the idea was that if we're able to get this in front of the community, iterate fast, figure out what's useful, and then kick out what's not, and eventually bring it into the main repo, while the main repo continued to keep pace with sort of its defined roadmap.
Okay. And then Forge is more meant as a template for people to use to build their own agent, rather than as a staging area for features that will eventually end up in AutoGPT itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. I put in a little task to write a little explainer for that for a .github file.
Yeah, Eric showed us that you can have one person building an agent and be very good at it. So I think it would be nice, and it would unleash creativity if we had many people actually starting to build their own things. And there is diminishing return when you work in a team a little. particularly when they do a lot of refactoring. Like it's particularly, even me when I work on the benchmark, when suddenly there's a big refactorization, I pause what I'm doing a little and I start integrating more and fixing the issues more than actually doing big changes.
Yeah.
You can see there are diminishing returns.
My experience is that these like big restructurings, they take longer to review than to do. So you know, in that situation, doing it alone is a lot quicker than working in a team. At the same time, if multiple people are exploring multiple avenues of improving the performance of the system, then you don't necessarily need each other's code, but you know, getting insights from the success of other projects is still useful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also want to shout out Luke. Not sure if this is the right time for this, but he has brought to our attention, me and Wayne, a couple of the challenges in the benchmarking were broken. And so that's wonderful. Like he's running the benchmark, he's finding issues, and he's optimizing the challenges, which is amazing. If you're running the benchmark as well and you run into any issues, feel free to bring them up or patch them. So it's wonderful.
Yep. And on that note, let's take it into the team inventory. I want to call out a couple people. We've had some people open PRs that have been doing really good, I think. Cyrus Hawk, for example, opened some testing PRs for untested code, which is awesome. Really appreciate that. We also had, sorry, I have to pull up these names. Forgive me, y'all. We had CYC, start working on trying to investigate how our browsing stuff works. And then we had Akeem trying to work on testing top P versus temperature and how those affect the agents. So I wanted to call those guys out. If anybody else has anybody they want to call out, now's a great time. Just people you see in the community doing a great job.
I mean, I would like to also give a shout out to Luke because he's been carrying our release process for a while now, and I'm really happy that someone is picking it up and doing it well. So, thumbs up for that. No, not just the release, but that, you know, that one single thing has brought me a lot of room to do other stuff.
Yeah, I agree. That has been super helpful. Y'all are all doing a great job. Thanks. I don't think we've added any new team members this week, but I do think we've done a really good job of making sure our introduction channel is really healthy, and actually like helping people get integrated into the community, and I love that. Good job, y'all.
Yeah, I think that's super important, like directing people to where we think they could be the most useful. Because so many people join and it's probably very daunting for them. And you know, you see someone who has these specific skills, and like, wow, you know, let's get you in the right place and to introduce you to the right people.
Yeah. On that note, we should start reacting to everybody who joins with our new emojis that were set up. I think Bentley.
Oh, they're awesome, man. They're great.
Yay!
Cool. Now we're on to our, unless anybody else has any other call outs or things they want to hand out, we're on to our or our planned time for unplanned questions and discussions.
I agree with that. Personally, as someone that's been here for about 3 months now, it took about 2 months just to get a hang of the navigation of all these rooms. So I do potentially feel it could be scaled down somewhat, and obviously, as you said, utilize threads. We'd need to articulate that somewhere in the introduction, or I'd feel kind of a brief kind of explanation of how things kind of operate, in regards to rooms and threads.
Yeah, I think if we decrease the amount of channels that we have on our Discord, because right now we have a lot of channels and a lot of them are valuable and relevant, but some have overlapping capabilities. Our Discord's active. Like I'll tell you right now, it's one of the most active Discords from all of the agent Discords. Obviously not as active as its peak, but that it also doesn't appear to be super active because a lot of the conversations and a lot of the activities spread over these like 100 channels. So if we concentrate it more, it also looks better and also encourages more a conversation. And like Michael said, it also simplifies things and we can encourage people to put things in threads.
Yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, the trap is to have people that want to structure everything. So anytime they see a new conversation, they say, "Oh, there's no channel for it. Let's go. Let's create a new channel." And then we end up with like thousands of channels. And sometimes it's not so bad that you have a conversation that lasts for like 10 minutes of people talking about something completely different. It's okay. It's fun, right? So let's actually do that. Can we add this as an action item to delete some? Because yeah, delete is the word, huh? Like the features we should be deleting AutoGPT, right? Exactly the same thing. Just making things lean.
Yeah. In this case, I would archive the channels, so move them to an invisible category.
We do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we have about 20 archive channels already.
Okay. So, and if we have any suggestions for channels to be archived, where do we send them? All right.
Cool. Any other particular any other unplanned discussions or things you want to discuss?
Before we move ahead on that specific topic of the channels, like what I've noticed really helps is if you have just enough channels that they fit on the screen. So if you have to scroll down to further read through, like it's already something bad. Maybe if we include the ones that are like private channels in the scrolling, that might be good. But from the first perspective with someone jumping in, having to scroll is just like too much. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah. I mean, for example, right now we have separate channels for memory, for prompt engineering, etc. If we condense the specific areas of agent development into a thread channel, and then have one development channel, that would, and I mean that would already clean up like 10 or 12 channels. It's just too bad you cannot move a channel from like a normal channel position to a thread or whatever. It's yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So let's clean up our Discord. Any other topics, or do you want to keep going on about this one? Awesome. I'm going to assume that's all we have. Unless anybody from the audience has stuff. Is that what we're doing? I don't know. We didn't discuss that yet. Yeah, we'll do that. Anybody from the audience have any questions for our maintainers team? Bentley, do you have the YouTube up? I don't know if there's anybody watching since we
Someone's
did it.
typing.
Great job marketing. Swifty has notes. Cool. All right. I'm gonna assume that's it. Thank you all for coming out. This has been a fun experiment. Our next meeting will be in the same bad time, same bad place. It will be August 15th at 10 a.m. Central, whatever time that is for you local. Look forward to seeing you there. Thanks, y'all.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Right.